3.28 patch notes only broke good news for Kinetic Fusillade Ballista League starter. With the new league, you will need good clear, signal target damage and Tonkiness. Damage and clear was never a problem for the totem builds. The problem, most of them is very squishy in my opinion. But I found a solution to make a Ballista build tonky even on league starter settings. What's up guys, Pidget here. Kinetic Fusillade mechanically is very interesting skill. There are so many factors that is influencing how the skill functioning. Normally, without anything, you create a hovering projectile. After a short duration, the projectile is fired at an enemy. But with the correct setup, you make your character look like a sentry tower that's shooting continuously many projectiles. We adding to this the Ballista Totem support. Because the support gem has less attack speed modifier, it makes a very good early levels as well, so our ballistas can become a sentry guns. And also, we don't need to use warp timepiece unique amulet, which is a good unique, but it has a very bad defensive stats, so the opportunity to use rare amulet or other unique amulet that is giving us Tonkiness is very welcome. How I improved the build Tonkiness on this is very interesting. Most of the people is wasting the potential of the Hierophant and where is the Templar starting, and just taking the damage nodes and becoming very glass cannony builds without any defensive layers. The first step, get rid of the auras that is reserving mana, so we can use Mind Over Matter, stack maximum mana, so we gaining a lot of extra effective HP. Hierophant is also gives us even more effect to this keystone with the Divine Guidance Ascendancy notable. Recovery is also very important for a build no matter what. This build has more than 400 energy shield regen per second, so we can just tank the dots and ground regions. We getting this with a very underused unique item that is perfect for this build, the Restless Sword unique body armor. We have 4 minimum endurance charges, so this is 3 regen per endurance charges. Also, this gives us evasion rating, energy shield as well, because we also need some sort of avoidance, so multiple hit defenses is also covered. We can use Grace because we're using with Eternal Blessing, so it does not reserve any mana. This is a very well known tech if you ever played a mana stacker before. The defenses is covered, where is our damage is coming from? Because with stacking mana, there is a very cheap unique helmet that is coming handy. Mind of the Conceal unique helmet. The main thing we're looking for on this. The maximum mana and the attack skill have added lightning damage equal to 6% of maximum mana. This will provide us tons of flat damage because Fusillade doesn't have any flat damage, has very high added damage effectiveness with all projectiles. Also, we can use Arcane Cloak for a very huge burst because we don't need to use any skill effect reduction unique, so our Arcane Cloak will have a pretty good uptime. Even if you disabling it, you will have decent damage and Tonkiness at the same time. In the Mobilitics link, you will find two different POB. One has Suppression and the other doesn't have. Of course, the Suppression one will have much better defenses and little bit less damage, but without the Suppression, you will have more damage but less Tonkiness. First, I want to cover the Suppression version so you can see here and also the damage numbers and also the Tonkiness wise numbers. So first thing first, you can see guys, the damage is around like 7 million-ish damage, although you have to know in the custom configuration modifier I put 50% more damage because we will use Tornado. That is making the projectile chaining of the target as well, and also the explosion when you hitting the Tornado, it will hit the target as well. So the explosive area effect looks like that much. It's not looking too big, I know, but here is the but. So when you using Tornado here, you will hit immediately the target as well. So of course you will not hit all of the explosions and so on, right? So the thing is, I'm calculated with like half and that's it. If you're getting more hit than that, then you will be happy, right? Simple as that. So this is how our damage is coming, and also you have to know about the defensive layer. Here I using the Arcane Cloak as well with tons of increased duration, so we have more duration effect here and efficacy here as well. Our Arcane Cloak duration will 6.2 seconds, which is very big uptime in my opinion, and it has like a 60% uptime, even POE can tell you. But if you disabling Arcane Cloak, yes, you will deal less damage and you will be less tonkier, but the damage with this still very nice, right guys? Most of the League starter POBs that I publishing has around like 2 or 3 million DPS, right? So this is already the pretty damn decent in my opinion. And also you have to know we will have little evasion rating as well, and also we will have the Ghost Dance keystone here, so when we're taking a hit we will recover 3% of our energy rating, and that is also additional recovery on top of our energy shield regen, because we have 411 energy shield regen currently. That is based on your maximum energy shield. So the more maximum energy shield you will have, the better regen will be. Simple as that. And also because of that, while you mapping, you can just use, for instance, the Jade Flask. So you will have 69% nice evade chance, which is very, very good while you mapping, because, you know, the flasks will have a very nice uptime while mapping. Of course, while you bossing, you can use it when you need it. But even with that, I think majority of the bosses will just die in a few seconds, especially if your Arcane Cloak turning on. You will deal massive amount of damage for 6 seconds. And basically, this is how the defensive and the damage is adding together. And also, because very important, we need mana regen, right? Because we cannot leech mana on this build. So I'm sorry guys, maybe you will need to use sometimes mana flask with this build, but that is will be like your life flask basically. So basically sometimes you need to use mana flask, and that's it, because there is no other really, I would say, good flask for this build. So, you know, this will grants you 2 extra K mana, so that is very welcome on top of our maximum mana regen. So that is pretty damn nice in my opinion. So that was the suppression version. Let's take a look on the non-suppression version. So you already noticing the maximum hits is way, way lower, because, come on, you cannot say 40% less spell damage taken is negligible, right? So it's not. But so the thing is, this POB is capping around at level 94, because you don't need to take the suppression wheel here, and the keystone here, the Mage Bane. And also it will be so much cheaper to gear this version. But honestly, if you was paying attention, the difference is literally a few node here, and you pathing down here, and you removing a few node. So jumping between two is not that hard, literally just like 10-point difference. So later on, so in like day 2 or something like that, even on day 1, most of the time I have already kept suppression, right? Because it's very, very important in my opinion, even with the previous league's nerfs. So the thing is, this will be a little bit more easier to get going, because it doesn't require you suppression. And once again, guys, this is the same as well with Arcane Cloak. So if you're disabling it, you already seeing it, it will have lower max hits and lower damage as well. So it is what it is, guys. So this is the way I can only solve this problem, because I opened a few POBs that was claiming, oh yeah, this is stonky and so on, and honestly, I was seeing like 7k max hit, Fizz max hit. So I don't know how people is playing builds like that. So I would not have fun with that. I know maybe this my approach is not good, guys. So maybe some of you will not agree how I approaching this type of build, but you know, this is how I have fun when my characters is stonky. I can survive a few hits if I want, and I can just turn off my brain without dodging or something like that, or getting frustrated because I getting killed in a map, right? So once again, guys, this is just my idea. I'm not saying with one single word this is the best version. I can see somebody figuring out better than, especially with the popularity of this type of build this league. So even I started theory crafting an immortal version of this, but that will requires more investment, and right now we're just talking about the league starter. And now, because League Starter, when is the leveling session and the skill progression and all of this kind of stuff will coming. I will fine tune a little bit more, maybe, you know, lowering down the level so we can have a lower level, so you don't need like level 94, level 90 would be enough or something like that. So a little bit fine tuning, and then I will publish the full leveling guide for both version and maybe the planned endgame version as well. So guys, if you want to see that, please let me know in the comment section. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short video about Kinetic Fusillade Ballista Totem League Starter planned POBs. If you have any question, please leave a comment below, or you can find me on twitch.tv/Pudget2. Thanks for watching. I was Pudget. See you next time.